Great, thanks everybody. Hi, I'm Shelley Walden. I'm the Science and STEM lead for Melbourne Archdiocese Catholic Schools and all of the secondary schools in the Archdiocese of Melbourne. We hope we've got lots of you here today or watching on a recording. It's a privilege to be able to introduce the groups from the Bionics Institute, and they're going to talk about this fabulous Girls in STEM mentoring program and the opportunity. So you'll have a chance at the end for a Q&A. But first of all, because we're Maxon Catholic Schools, I'm going to introduce you to Melissa Etherton, the Director of Innovation and something, and I've forgotten, I really am embarrassed now, the Director of Innovation and Learning, I think, at Loreto Mandeville, and she's going to do the prayer for us. Sorry, my computer's about to die. Apologies, go on.
Thank you, Shelley. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. God, help us to change ourselves and to change our world, to know the need for it, to deal with the pain of it, to feel the joy of it, to undertake the journey without understanding the destination, the art of gentle revolution. Amen. And Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen.
All right, thank you very much for that, Melissa and Shelley. Hello and welcome to today's Bionics Institute's Girls in STEM program webinar. Today, we are delighted to give you some insights into the Bionics Institute's Girls in STEM program, which is supported by NAB, and we thank them for their continuing support of the program. I would like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, who are the traditional custodians of the land that we meet on today. I would like to pay respects to elders both past, present, and emerging. I'll begin by giving you all some background into the Girls in STEM program. In 2019, the Bionics Institute partnered with Ivanhoe Girls Grammar, and 2 students were mentored by Bionics Institute researchers, Associate Professor Rachel Richardson and Dr. Sophie Payne, who are still mentors on the program today. This program has blossomed to over 18 schools and 72 students taking part, which is a testimony to the efforts of our amazing researchers over the last few years. The Girls in STEM program runs for a 6-month duration from May through to October, and there is only 1 online meeting per month, or 5 in total for this duration. This program is designed to be a low time and high impact, where your students will only need to spend 20 or 30 minutes with their mentors per month online, but have the potential impact of changing their career trajectory in STEM. We culminate the program with a 10-minute presentation where the students present their program learnings in pairs in front of their school in assembly or in a classroom to their peers. There are also opportunities for students to visit their mentor's workplace and view a real-life scientist and lab or professional in action, which is always a great highlight of the program. The program's success and exponential growth is testimony to our brilliant mentors who volunteer their time to be involved in this program and are passionate about trailblazing opportunities for young students, like they once were, to enter the field of STEM. These mentors come from a range of organisations such as Monash University or Melbourne University, to industry professionals from Illumina, or institutes such as the Bionics Institute or the Origin Centre for Youth Mental Health. And we even had a data scientist from Victoria Police involved. The Girls in STEM program simply could not exist and continue to grow without all the work that our previous mentors have done and the future work of new mentors involved in this year's program. Each school can nominate up to 4 Year 10 or Year 11 students completing BCE STEM Units 1 and 2. I'm pleased to say that expressions of interest for next year's program are already open on our website, and I'll be giving you all a link to this page at the conclusion of this afternoon's webinar. We have had over 18 schools involved in the program this year from both the public and private school sector. And the online nature of this program means the location of the students is not an issue, exemplified by the fact that we have schools based in Geelong, and all the students that need for access is a device capable of completing Zoom calls, such as a laptop or a tablet device. If you have any questions at any stage during today's presentation, please do submit them in the Q&A box, and I'll run through them at the end of today's presentations. We'll also be recording this session, and you'll all be receiving a link for your reference, and you may share this with your networks. I would now like to introduce Melissa Etherton, Director of Innovation and Enterprise at Loreto Mandeville Hall Toorak, to give the school's perspective of the Girls in STEM program and how she and her students have found being part of the program this year. Welcome, Melissa.
Sorry. Just checking, Sam, that that's clear your end. Hello.
Good to go, Melissa.
Thank you very much, Shelley. So as Sam mentioned, my name is Melissa Etherton, and I'm the Director of Innovation and Enterprise here at Loreto Toorak. Loreto Toorak is in its second year of our connection with the Bionics Institute, and we are thrilled with our involvement. What I'm just going to run through with you just quickly in 10 or 12 minutes is our connections with the Bionics Institute. I'll share with you a student's reflection and also how we selected the students this year. A little bit of information about our student and researcher engagement sessions, a principal's reflection, and what we hope to achieve in 2023 and beyond. So Loreto Toorak connected in with the Bionics Institute in 2022, and as I said, it's our second year. Our connection started through a member of our board was aware of the mentorship program. So it was really exciting for that connection to come from board level, and that interest in our students and wanting to champion girls in STEM. And we continued it this year because it was such a success last year. In 2022, one of our students, Claire, reflected really strongly on her involvement in the program, and she gained so many benefits from it, from understanding how scientists actually do on-site research, and into areas such as she was learning about Parkinson's disease, and that that action component of research that is really important, that we want to make our world a better place, and that was really important. It also showcased to Claire many of the other opportunities in STEM for women, and it's not just the science side. There's lots of other, as Sam mentioned, data research, and things that sometimes the girls have a conversation with their mentor about, which they didn't really know existed in that world of STEM beyond a typical science degree. How we went about selecting the students at Loreto Toorak, because it is a very small number of students and it's a very popular program, is that we actually self-selected the students. So we didn't ask the students to write an application we self-selected the students in 2023, and it has actually worked well for us. We looked at our Year 9 results. We looked at our Year 9 academic awards and those girls that achieved highly in the STEM area. And my conversation with Sam was, it doesn't have to be just students who achieved highly in STEM. We then went to our head of Year 9, looking at the year that was, and the feedback from Jules, our head of Year 9, was really important. And then in 2023, we looked at all our students who came to an information session who were interested in the UCAT, and obviously our students were only in Year 10. So that showed to us an interest in that science, medicine, biomed area. So that was another area that we looked at. I then took all of this information to our Director of Teaching and Learning and sat down with her and had a conversation with Jill and said, this is a group of students who we could self-select for the Bionics Institute program. And then I took those to the principal and she signed off on it. We then offered for students with a couple of backups, just in case one of the 4 didn't want to accept the offer, and then ask for parent endorsement. So for us, it was a very, I suppose, academic way to select the students, and we've seen the benefits from that. It's not necessarily the way that all schools may select their students. We have 4 students involved in the program, and all 4 students have had the most amazing experience. So 2 of our students are connected in with Associate Professor Rachel Richardson, linked with the Bionics Institute, and their area of research is looking at neuromodulation strategies for managing chronic pain. So, there's lots of conversations that our students have with Rachel about pain management, and we hear often in the media about pain management. So the students were able to research pain management through the online mentoring sessions, but then we also, and this was just on Monday, I took the students into the Bionics Institute, and they actually did a practical session with Rachel on the effect of light and it as a form of pain management. So the students used the light microscopes and also then use that data from the microscopes and put that on the screen, and was able to manipulate the data received to create a printout. So it was pretty amazing to to be working with these incredible pieces of scientific equipment, and the students, honestly, they took to it so easily. They were easily able to conduct themselves on both the microscope and also the data manipulation on the computer. Our second set of students was working with Associate Professor Shana Jamada from Monash University, and they are looking at cognitive neuroimaging. And the picture on screen there was the day that I took the students out to Monash University to the centre there where Shana leads that area. And again, it was just wonderful to hear and see and have that hands-on approach to some of the work that Shana and her team actually do, and to see the $1 million machines that her scientists are able to use. We also had a afternoon tea with many of the PhD students who work with Shana, and the students were able to ask them questions about their research, and that was varying types of research. So that was incredible as well. Importantly for us, our principal, Angela O'Dwyer, is highly engaged in this program. And I would say that Angela was heavily involved in 2022 before I took over the coordination of the program this year. And, Angela was, constantly talking to our students. And Angela is certainly someone who champions, careers that the girls can take on, but most importantly, girls in STEM, and they should leave Loreto Toorak with the knowledge that girls are capable of doing anything in this world, and that we should really look at our sciences, our technology areas, and see what an impact our students can have in this ever-changing world. So we are very grateful for Angela's ongoing support. Looking ahead, it's certainly, as I said, it was my first year involved intimately with the program this year. I was aware of it last year, but I didn't have any involvement in coordinating it. But certainly from my perspective, the academic level at which our students are working is simply amazing. You know, on Monday being in at the Bionics Institute and our 2 Year 10 students in there with, you know, Rachel and the other staff, just having conversations at an academic level, you know, was just incredible. And the research that they are doing, you know, on their own as an academic add-on is certainly something that, you know, all schools should be looking at for their students. And we do see this as an ongoing partnership. And for us, you know, we partner with other areas across Melbourne, but you know, certainly the Bionics Institute is very, very impressive. So Sam, I hope that's all you needed from me. As you mentioned, happy to take any questions.
Thanks for that, Melissa. That was sensational. We do have a couple questions for you. So my first question for you is, did you join any of the sessions with the students or the mentors? And did you feel like you needed any oversight of how the program was running?
Yeah, it's interesting because the sessions are online. We, as part of our you know, child safeguarding component, we get the parents to sign off to say that the sessions will include a teacher sometimes, but may not necessarily include a teacher. So when I was free, or when I am free, I definitely join in the session online here at school, which, shall I say, has been pretty limited because, as we know, schools are very, very busy places. But certainly I personally took the students out to the site visits to both Monash University and to the Bionics Institute yesterday. And, you know, I'm a science teacher myself, not senior science, just junior science. And shall I say, the conversations that were happening were just so heartwarming because, as I've mentioned just previously, the academic nature of the conversations was incredible. So certainly from my perspective, yes, joined in as much as I can with the microscopes and you know, the work that Shana was doing out at Monash.
Thanks for that. And my final question for you is, do you think that this program cultivated a greater interest in STEM fields from the students?
I think, you know, I think our students, because our students were handpicked, all the students that we chose had a significant investment in the sciences already, and I don't think they were doing any technology subjects, but definitely, you know, that pure science area. But I can just, you know, yes, on Monday when we were walking out of the Bionics Institute, they were on a high when they were walking out, and then they were talking about, you know, working in the field and, you know, what that, apologies, there's a setup happening outside my office, and working in the field. So that is definitely something that they took away from it. You know, they could see themselves in those laboratories.
Thanks for that. And we've got a question from Shelley Walden.
Yes, thank you. Melissa, I wonder, when the children come back after these experiences, are they talking to their colleagues and other younger students? Is it actually starting to percolate through the school that there are these opportunities, careers and things like that? Is it, you know, one of the ways of motivating further interest in STEM and the girls continuing in science?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, not only the students, Shelley, but myself, you know, some days I teach year 11s and, you know, when I'm heading off on an excursion with the Bionics Institute students, you know, I explain to them where I'm going, and, you know, the conversations even in the year 11 classroom about what the year 10 students are doing, you know, is there. And we have to present, as Sam mentioned, to a group of students or even staff. And so my students are very keen to present to the staff on what they've achieved in their mentoring program. But importantly, they have chosen they think that it would be great to present what they've done to the Year 7 students, so that there is that ongoing, links with STEM right from Year 7. So, what that looks like in week 1 of term 4, I shall, know in the next few days. But, there is that conversation about, well, what are you doing with the Bionics Institute? There's that sense of curiosity across the school.
Thank you. That's really exciting. Of course, what we're wanting to get is that breadth of understanding that there are so many opportunities out there. We certainly know that girls particularly are motivated by issues of social justice. And when they see that there's a limited number of research opportunities in science, they don't always see themselves in the work. But when they can see the breadth of the science that's available, maybe that continues to motivate them. So it'll be really interesting to see how those new cohorts coming through respond. And if you get thousands of girls going, we want to be mentored as well. Anyway, thank you so much.
And I think that's, I'm involved in a Year 9 program, and possible mentorships, not just in STEM, but other areas, in that field as well. Championing girls in lots of businesses and lots of areas is really, really important. So this is just one of them for us.
Thank you for that, Melissa. I would now like to welcome Dr. Yingjie Hu, who is a Technology Development Officer at the Bionics Institute. Yingjie is a research and development engineer with a PhD in chemical and biomolecular engineering. She has been a mentor in this year's program, and we're delighted that she is joined to share her experience as a mentor. Welcome, Dr. Yingjie Hu.
Thank you, Sam. I'll start share my screen. Okay, is this showing? All right.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll start with a little bit about me. I'm a technology development officer in nanotherapeutic group in Bionics Institute. So my team is working on a nanotechnology-based therapeutics to treat hearing loss. This is a picture of me and my colleague working in the lab. My background is in pharmaceutical science and chemical engineering. That's why most of my work is actually hands-on in the lab, handling chemicals. So my journey of science actually started back in 2011 when I started a pharmaceutical science program at uni. And that's where I started to get interested in nanotechnologies and nanoparticles and their application in biomedicine. So after that, I pursued my PhD in the University of Melbourne. That major was in chemical engineering, but the content of my work was still developing advanced nanotechnology to treat different diseases. Which then bring me the opportunity in Bionics Institute, where I can apply my knowledge in nanotechnology and nanoparticles to treat hearing loss. So throughout my journey from the beginning, I actually didn't know what I was diving into. When I just signed up for the pharmaceutical science program, I was thinking, oh, science is fun, science is cool, but I did not know what is it and what is a life of a scientist. But I was lucky. I kind of stumbled upon something I really enjoyed, I really liked. But I wish back then I had someone to tell me what a career in science is really like. So that's why when Sam asked me if I want to be a mentor in this program, I said, yes, of course. I joined this program in 2022. I had 2 students from Sacred Heart College, Geelong, and then we worked together on the topic of nanotherapeutics for hearing loss. Essentially, that's the work I've been doing now. And that was a really, really great experience. The program went really, really well, and we got really good feedback from the students, and I really enjoyed that experience as well. This is a photo of that at the end of the year celebration in this program. My students are in the middle. It's Ella and Alice, they're in the middle there. And we both really enjoyed, all of us really enjoyed the program. That's why I stayed as a mentor this year as well. This year, I'm mentoring 3 students from Ivanhoe Girls Grammar School. And this year, our topic is on nanotechnology for cancer treatment. So you might notice each year, the topic is a little bit different. You might be interested in how we decide the topic and then how the program is running. So I'm just gonna give a very brief introduction on the structure and how we organize the content of the project. It all starts with a meet your mentor or mentee event. We will get paired up, the mentor and mentee, and we will meet each other in the beginning of the program. So each mentor normally have 2 to 3 students, and then we will get together or decide how we want to run this project together. Generally, we will have a monthly catch-up meeting. So to set up the meeting, the mentors will discuss with the mentee what time suits the best. Normally, the scientist has, we all have a more flexible timeline compared to the students. They obviously have class and activities going on. So we will decide in advance which day to meet for each month. And then in the first meeting, we will discuss what project we want to work together. Obviously, different scientists have different expertise. So for example, my experience and knowledge all lie on nanotechnology and nanotherapeutics, but it's still quite a broad area. I've worked with multiple diseases, and then students are interested in different things as well. So what we do is the scientists, just in my case, I will give some keywords to the students. I'll give them cancer therapy, hearing loss, nanotechnology, nanoparticle, different type of nanoparticle, material science. And then I'll give them a very brief introduction on each keyword. And they will choose something that's really interesting to them. So then we will formulate a project together and focus on the particular aspect the students are interested in. And after we decide the project, we will start to dive in to understand the project, starting from a very simple Google search to help the student to understand very broadly what's the background, what's happening in the field, what is a nanoparticle, what can you use a nanoparticle for, what is the application in the biomedical field using nanotechnology, starting with a very broad background research, and we will slowly dive into a detailed or more scientific information. At the end, towards the end, we will read a scientific literature together. To the student will read those key informations under guidance to help them to understand what's the cutting edge technology. From the research, each month, we will have a monthly report. It's a very simple one-pager, not too much burden to the student. And then towards the end of the program, the student will accumulate all the information and put them into a final slide deck to present all they learned throughout the program in the school. So over the whole program, it's a 6 months program. We meet every month, so it's normally 6 meetings. we tend to structure everything in the first meeting when we decided the topic. And then we will focus one question each time, starting with the background, and then deep dive into the real scientific question. So towards the end, what we hope is the student can gain some knowledge in research, in the particular research field they are looking into. Most importantly, to gain the ability to find the right resource, to find the reliable resource instead of random web page. They will know some website is more has more reliable information, and where they can find scientific literature if they want to look into a particular topic in the future. And also they will gain experience in logic thinking, problem solving when they gather this information and trying to digest them in their way, and then further present them at the end, which also kind of strengthens their presentation skill at the end. What's most importantly, we hope this program can spark the interest of science in those students, and hopefully maybe someday in the future they can pursue a career in science themselves. Yeah, that's all from me.
Thank you very much, Yingjie. Now, I do have a couple of questions for you. How did you work out how easy or difficult to make the research for your students?
Thank you, Sam, for the question. Yeah, I have to say it is not difficult at all, because the research topic obviously will be something I'm familiar with. It's not too much burden for me to kind of formulate the questions and starting from the background all the way to the scientific question. And in terms of time commitment, we meet once per month online. So that's roughly 30 minutes to 45 minutes-ish. And before that, I will commit roughly half an hour to 1 hour also to read through the report and give some feedback to the student. So overall, it's not difficult at all.
Thank you for that. And I have another question for you. How did you go about providing feedback to the students' research? Was it graded or was it just a conversation?
It is not graded. It's more like our conversation. Oh, I said conversation. Our interaction is mostly during the monthly meeting. It's in the format of conversation. I'll give feedback on the Word document they provide in the format of comments. It's more for if this information is correct, it's reliable or not, and then provide some information on where you can find the correct details of those questions. We don't really grade the performance. This is more for like because we wanted to be in the format of research projects. So we want to work as a peer, like we are both scientists. I'm a scientist, you're a scientist too. We discuss together and then find out the answer together. I would think I more serve as a guidance to them to find where the correct answer is or where the information is, instead of giving them grades or you know, like a number. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Yingjie. That concludes the presentations today. Did you have a question, Shelley?
Yes, two questions for Yingjie. Thanks, Sam. One is the reports that the children wrote, do we give them an actual template or structure for that, or do they use ones that the schools tend to use in their scientific research?
Thank you, Shelley. The answer is no, we don't give them templates. That's another really good practice for them. We want them to structure the things themselves. So when you get information online, especially when you just, in the completely strange field, you tend to get them in pieces here and there. So it's a really good practice for the student to kind of gather them together and then give them the structure and kind of layer them in their own understanding. So we don't give them templates. It's all their work.
Yeah. Thank you. My other question was, and you triggered this interest in when you said about reliable research. And of course, in a post-truth world, the way we encourage and support our children to actually discern facts from opinions or their entitlement to their own truths, I've been told that our children are allowed to have now, is are you finding that, and I mean it's only recent, that that's something that is coming up more frequently for you, so you're directing them to how and where to find that research? So I think it's a really important feature.
That is true. That is really true. So like we live in the world nowadays full of information. When you put in the keywords in Google, there's like millions of web page pops up, and each of them might tell a different story. That's really important for students to know which one to believe and to form their own opinion. But we are researchers, scientists. We think things should base on facts, should base on data, and instead of like for some website give you opinions but no support, no facts. So we're trying to train the student, not train the student, let them know to how to find what's real and form their own opinion.
Thank you. That's great.
Thank you for that, and that concludes today's presentations. If there are any questions about the program at all, please do feel free to submit the questions through the Q&A box, or alternatively, you can send me an email at any time at smclarty@bionicsinstitute.org.
Thanks. And Sam, we'll send out some details. You'll send them to us so that when we send out the copy of the recording to all the schools, they've got where to find things out and the expression of interest form. Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you, Yingjie. And thank you, Melissa, for organising all of this and participating, expressing how the students are. I hope we get so many schools next year seeing this as a real opportunity for their girls as well.
Thank you, Shelley. I couldn't agree more. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining today's webinar. I hope you found it insightful, and we do extend our invitation to you all to join the Girls in STEM program for 2024. We do believe that this is a program that has great potential and the capacity to expand both in Victoria and interstate, and I'm delighted to say that there are plans in place to allow this expansion. If you would like your students to be mentored by a leading STEM professional, we'll be absolutely thrilled to have you on board. Just head to the Bionics Institute Girls in STEM page, which you can see via the QR code, or alternatively, you can click on the link that's in this PowerPoint. I would like to thank our speakers, Melissa and Yingjie, for their presentations. I'd also like to thank Shelley and Patrick from the Melbourne Archdiocese Catholic Schools for the help in facilitating this program and webinar. We would also like to thank National Australia Bank for supporting the Girls in STEM mentoring program by providing funding towards administrative costs with the aim of inspiring women to pursue innovative careers. If you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me at any stage. And I look forward to an exciting 2024 Girls in STEM program. Thank you for joining us today.